Welcome to the Soulvision podcast, 4th episode. I am with Katina Willis.
Ooh.
There we go. Owner of Next Level Realty.
Yes, realty and investments.
And investments.
Yes.
Then I got my man Ed Manyweather on my side. Y'all can't see him, but you'll hear him.
Right, it's best not to see me anyway. You know what I'm saying?
So today we're going to jump off into the housing market, the game, how it goes, the investment. Is it a good thing to get in? What do we do? Where do we start? And we're going to go with Katina, the brains behind being a realtor.
A realtor. A realtor.
So let us know. Got a couple questions.
Okay.
Renting versus buying, advantages and disadvantages of
okay.
each.
Well, I want to touch on what you mentioned, though, in your introduction.
Okay.
You said, is it a good time to get into it or not?
Right. Is it a good time?
It's always a good time to get into real estate. Always.
Okay.
No matter what the market is doing, there is opportunity to make money. Always. You just got to be connected to the right people to know what to do and to get a strategy. Always. Even if when, let me tell you, I could okay, I'm going right now. But even when the market crashed in '08, do y'all remember that?
Remember it well.
Guess what?
I
wish I was a licensed realtor at that time.
Oh.
That's when people shined. That's when a lot of realtors really came up. Is when the market crashed. When the market crashes, that's when you buy.
Okay.
Right?
Makes
because
sense.
Real estate goes in cycles and history repeats itself. So pretty much if you study it, if the market, it's just like stocks. If the market crashes, it can do nothing but rise. So it's never a bad time to get into real estate.
So basically, you got to put yourself in position to make money when it crashes.
Bingo.
Okay.
You got it.
Hey, let me borrow some money.
Right.
Because
we can get real estate with no money down. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the
yeah,
no money
I
down
need that
spot.
free.
Primary home, sure.
Really?
There's lots
Okay.
of programs, all kinds of grants available. Right now, there's a $15,000 grant for home buyers towards your closing cost and your down payment.
Okay.
That's what's up. So how do we got the name of your company? So how do we get in contact with you, or who do you promote? You know what I'm saying? Like you have your site, your email,
Sure.
your social media.
Yes.
I think that's the most important. One of the most important pieces
Sure.
is get this out in the beginning.
Yes.
Hit it again in the middle, hit it again in the end.
Yes,
You know,
sure.
just so we can understand how to
Sure.
get in contact, because this is good information that we're going to
That's right.
supply today.
Mhm.
So people are going to like, so how do I catch up with it?
Sure.
So if you can give that real quick.
Sure. My website is nextlevelsales.com, and sales is SELLS. Like, that's what I do. I sell houses. So Next Level Sales. And then also you can follow me on Instagram at Katina Willis, and it's Katina is CATINA.
Katina Willis on the gram.
Katina Willis on the gram.
That's what's up.
That's
so
cool.
You were talking
That is cool.
earlier, and I don't want to step on you, Sherrod.
No, go ahead, bro.
We were talking earlier, and so I think just foundational, right? So as we move forward, we understand the question of the rent and the buy. But more so than anything else, this is a promotion of you, your company, and being able to do what you see, that's going to happen. So when you started your company, what was the vision that you had? What was, just like if you can give us an elevator pitch, maybe a little bit longer. We're going from the first floor to like the 70th. So you got a little bit longer on this pitch, but if you kind of could surmise why it's next level, why you got into the industry, what do you see going forward?
What do I see going forward in real estate?
Right, but most importantly, why'd you get in?
Why did I get into real
You
estate?
got a little bit of a story. So
I
I'm
do.
looking for the story.
Okay, well, my story, honestly, I've been in the real estate industry since 1996.
Wow.
I know I look too young for that,
That's what's up,
but it
right.
is true. It's true. I got in the real estate business, so I was working with agents and helping and assisting and training real estate agents.
Okay.
That's how I got started. And I did that for over a decade. And then in 2012, I just needed something different. I needed something next level. So
okay, all right, girl, I see you.
So I quit that corporate job. I did not even plan to be a real estate agent at all. And I had started working at the Art Institute as a marketing professor.
Wow, I remember the Art Institute.
Yep, out in Troy.
Oh, Troy.
I was in Troy.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what's up.
So I was just working there teaching digital marketing strategies and things like that. But I was just part-time because I was trying to figure stuff out.
Right.
But long story short, one of the professors there, I guess I was talking about real estate all the time. So he said to me, well, are you a licensed realtor? And I said, no. And he said, you need to go get your license. And I went, really? I thought that was interesting. So I went and got my license. And I thought the class was hard. I thought it was tough. It was not what I expected because the classes are typically the classes are all legal stuff. It's not the fun stuff you see on social media. It's none of that.
Really?
It's boring. It's very dry. You're just learning stuff or ways to stay out of jail once you get that license.
Dang.
Because it's easy to become unethical in that
really?
business, believe it or
Okay.
not. Pardon me?
No, I'm just saying. Wow. I mean, what does the unethical side entail?
Well,
Man, don't put her out there.
I'm not but you know what? I got a great example. I'm glad you asked. So, well, okay. A friend that has a brokerage, one of the agents in their office actually connected with some investors, was supposed to do some work for this person, and did not do the work, but kept the money.
Oh,
Those are ways you can be unethical.
okay.
And so, you know, being a broker, you are responsible for agents in your office.
Oh.
So it could be a big liability.
Yeah.
So that's a way you could get a lot of clients and people come to you just because you're a licensed realtor.
Right.
Come to you, trust you, you're licensed with the state and whatever, and they might just give you money, right?
Right.
So you got to do the right thing.
Right, with the money. Ooh, I know a word. It's called fiduciary.
Yes, fiduciary duty.
Fiduciary responsibility.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
that insurance license wasn't a total.
Man.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, so you decided to get your license.
Yeah.
So you went to the school. You got your
I went
license.
to the school.
Um,
Yes. I got to be honest. I was scared to take the test.
Wow.
But after the class, I went home. I studied for like 2 weeks. And then I said, you know what I got to lose? I'm going to take this test. So
Okay.
I passed the test. And then...
First time?
Oh, of course.
Oh, that's what's up.
I said,
Of
of course.
Of course.
I didn't know that was how it was going to go down, but it did.
Bruh, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, she said that with a smile, too. Like,
Right, right.
of course.
So that made me real excited.
For real.
That made me really jump in. Like, okay.
Okay, you dig this. We always see the successes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but nobody really touches on, hey, man, I was starving for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Have you hit that point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I wasn't starving, though, honestly. I'm blessed. I'm really, really blessed. But that first year kicked my butt. That first year was very, very difficult. Actually, probably, you know, I would say this. In real estate, there's a lot of ups and downs, you know. So, but the first year you really, I'll tell you my biggest letdown the first year. My first 90 days, I meet this investor from Singapore.
Wow.
He's like, he comes to me, I don't even remember how he found me, but he did. So he found me. He's like, yeah, me and my investors, we want to buy all these houses in Detroit. Detroit is this, Detroit is that. So I take him around to see houses, Southfield, Detroit, a whole weekend. I spent my whole weekend with this guy. I show him all these houses. After he has me, he says, yeah, I want some of these houses. He puts in like 17 offers.
Wow.
right? He has me to type up 17 offers, so that's my time, that was my gas, that was my energy, that was my whole weekend.
Yeah.
So I type up all these offers, I'm trying to help him get these houses, and then when he goes back to his country, his agent, actually an agent from Las Vegas found me. And that's how we connected.
Okay.
So when he goes back to Singapore, his agent from Las Vegas emails me and says, oh, he changed his mind. They can't invest in Detroit because of the bankruptcy. Remember when Detroit filed bankruptcy?
Right.
That was their reason. They said, no, we're no, everybody's too scared to invest in Detroit now.
Are you
So they pulled the, yes, you lose thousands of dollars like that in real estate.
Wow.
Wow.
That sucks.
All the time.
Pissed.
Right.
I'd be pissed.
All the time. You can't be pissed though. You gotta move on. You gotta find some more people.
Man.
You gotta keep on grinding.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta keep on grinding. So you learned a lot.
Oh, my
In,
first
in
year.
that weekend, that weekend probably.
Yes, I learned a lot. My first year I learned so much. But there's a lot of ups and downs, always.
Now, as far as the ups and downs goes, that was from a client's perspective or from his point.
Mm-hmm.
What mistakes have you made that you like, oh my God, I'll never do this again?
I make mistakes all the time.
Okay.
All the time. This week I made a lot of mistakes. You honestly, the exciting part, like this business, I know people wonder why do people stay in it if it's so hard and all this bad stuff happens. But if you got a passion for it, or you know it's exciting to you, or you love it because every day is different, you just keep going.
Yeah.
You just keep going. But I make mistakes all the time. What was your question again? I make mistakes.
Hey, I was like, hey, what's your
all the
biggest
time.
mistake? You know, but you
My
say,
biggest mistake
have you ever cost yourself money?
all the time.
Oh, okay.
My biggest mistake, honestly, I'm like, I don't know if I want to say I can't talk about it, but it happened in the last 60 days. And long story short, it was a big mistake. I'll say this. There's so many levels of real estate, and that's why it's exciting. There's so many different levels that you get the shiny object syndrome. And so you're like running over here, running over there, trying to always start these new businesses. So you tend to make mistakes.
Okay. Now, as far as the mistakes, okay, when you went into real estate, you took the class, passed it, of course, first time. How do you decide commercial or residential?
Oh, I was never interested in commercial off the bat.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Residential is probably easier. It's probably easier because you know somebody who's renting or buying a home.
Okay.
But you may not know people who's renting or leasing a commercial space.
Okay.
So,
Cool. Now, we want to know, should people get into the real estate market as investors? Should we come in singularly? Should we come in as a group? How do we get in this game? And I want to win.
you want to win.
I want to win.
You in the right city to win.
Okay.
For sure. And that's interesting you bring that up. So one of my colleagues or one of my realtor buddies had a thing yesterday, a meetup. And so what he was saying is a lot of the local people are missing out on opportunities. They are walking past, I said something like this a couple of months ago. The local people, we're right here. We're right next to the great deals, but we may not have the vision, or we may not really be knowledgeable about what other people think about Detroit.
Right.
Other states and countries look at our city so different than one way we do.
Because we look at it as just being burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and they look at
unfortunately.
it as a gold mine.
Yeah.
Right. Can I interject?
Oh yeah.
So I did Uber for a while, and one of the things that I enjoyed about doing it was the amount of people that you run into. Like I would almost do Uber for free, just because of the amount of people that you run into.
Okay.
Right.
And so from doctors from South Korea, from little old ladies from China, people from Australia, coming over from London, whenever they're going back to the airport, and sometimes even some of the ones that's coming from the airport, they're usually like, wow, Detroit is nothing like I thought it would be. I always saw these rundown homes and all these different dynamics about the city, but once they come in, and it's not what they see, is how they deal with the people. So they're like, man, you know, the people are so friendly here. You know, everybody's so nice. And, you know, we here, so we're jaded, you know what I'm saying, on how Detroit is, because we are wherever space that we in. But the idea is, a lot of people, when they come here, they do have a misconception or, you know, some type of crazy idea of what Detroit is. But when they come here and they get around us and they start talking to us and interacting with us, you know, it's really a totally different animal. And it's a really good space. A lot of, from other folks that have moved across the country, they usually end up coming back because they like, man, there's nothing like Michigan. You know, so it's so much pride that we really should have in the city itself, in the state itself, because it's a great place to raise kids, right? We have like some of the highest school systems in the country still. Oakland County, you know, is still one of the richest counties in the country. You know, so it's a lot of things that you can't take away from this Metro Detroit area or even the city itself. But it's always a good space for people to come and move into it. Just like when you hit us with the stats earlier about how many agents, you know, are in the metro area, it seems mind-boggling. So if you could walk through those stats again, right? How many agents we got in the area?
14,000 licensed real estate agents are in Metro Detroit selling houses, helping people to buy or sell. So pretty much everybody knows somebody or has a relative, but there are different levels.
She's
different
next level.
Levels.
She's next level.
I'm next level,
She's
for
next
real.
You know what I'm saying? She's next level.
But no, you know, not to diss anybody, but that, you know, there are different types of agents, like you were asking, commercial or investor, or some specialize in first-time home buyers, some specialize in selling houses. So there are all these different kinds of agents. So you might want to pick the one in, you know, depending on what you need, that may be what you want to choose.
I got a question from LaWanda Dixon. She says, this question may be a little odd, but I've seen situations on the news about squatters. Well, realtors and homeowners have homes vacant for a while and not long, and people trespass. And when the owners try to remove the individuals that were squatting, they have rights. How do you handle that situation with squatters?
The squatter rights, that ended, I want to say, a year or two ago.
Oh.
So the new information is that if you buy a property, say you buy a property from the auction, and you're in the middle of renovations, and you pop up to come and fix your house up, and somebody's living in there, somebody has moved in, you can call the police, and the police will have them to leave. Now I have asked. I said, you know, it seems that that's working for some people, but not all. But I mean, I know a few investors it's worked for them, and there is a certain time and certain day that you should choose where the police will come faster. And I don't want to say that in case any squatters are watching.
Oh,
I don't want to tell that.
They on their phone. They like, man, she giving the
That's
game away.
crazy.
Yep. But other than that, now say if it's a situation where the person used to rent the house, or they used to own the house, or whatever the case may be, if they do have a lease agreement, you'll have to take them to court and file a case and have them evicted.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. So again, real quick recap. We sitting here with Katina Willis. Katina Willis is next level.
Next level. Next level.
Realty.
Not here.
Right.
Next level.
And it's called Next Level, honestly, is because I want to help other people get to their next level. You know, their next level of living, or their, and even agents too. Really, that's where the name came from. It's from this book I wrote a couple of years ago to help real estate agents, because I mean, when you become a licensed agent, there is no handbook to tell you what to do. And so it was to help. I put a lot of information in this book to help agents build their business and get some business and know how to find it, know what to do. Because that help wasn't available for me.
So
I
are you
wanted to help.
actively training now? I mean, is that what you're doing now, or?
I have agents.
Okay.
So
I'm
what's the
always
name of the
helping,
book?
always
What's the
training.
name of the book, and where can we get it?
The
Can we get
book-
the book?
Absolutely.
Okay, what's the
The
name of
book
it?
is it's on Amazon. It's also on my website, katinawillis.com. And Katina is with a C. And it's called Next Level Coaching for Real Estate Professionals. That's the name of it. And it's how to make 6 figures in 12 months in real estate. And so there is a section in there for investors and also for real estate agents.
Okay, for the average person, said I'm going to get into the real estate game. Is it something I got to come in? I got to have great credit to get that first investment home? Is it cash? I mean, how do a person?
Well, again, we're in Detroit,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know so many people who bought their first investment property with tax money.
Oh,
$4,000. You know, they got a big refund at tax time. So they went and bought a property for $4,000. Actually, the other day I made a recording about the $1,000 homes from the land bank.
Right.
Y'all seen that?
I've seen that a couple times.
So y'all just spectating. Y'all not gonna try, not gonna throw something out there.
Hey,
See what
I'm
happens?
totally ignorant to the process, and I won't even lie to you. I won't front and be like, "Oh no, I'm all on it." I ain't gonna lie. No,
You don't follow too much.
I don't
pretty
follow,
much.
but it's not like I'm not interested, but I don't know enough
Yeah.
for me to jump out there and take that kind of a risk.
Understood. You
You need a way, because even and it's not to slight the $1,000 for a house. I mean, $1,000 for a house is insane, no matter where
Right.
you are in
Yeah.
the United States of America. But when you put that $1,000 up, now I got this responsibility.
Right.
You know, now I done picked up. You know,
Yeah.
okay, now I got this house.
I gotta
What am I
fix
gonna do
this
with the
joint,
house?
yeah.
Right now, I need money to invest in the house. So it could be more of a, all right, well now what do I do? So even with you writing a book for the agents, man, you could probably almost write a book just for the regular everyday person.
Invest.
Hey, when you want to start investing in real estate or even getting your first home, buying your first home. Hey, here's some of the steps or some of the way, because I think that's a lot
Yeah.
of it for me. I need to see a path. I need to know how do
Yeah.
I get there from here.
You want a strategy, what to
Right.
do once you get it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to waste your money.
Well, obviously, but $1,000, it's a lot of money for sure, especially if you don't have it. But at the same time, it's not a lot to get into that type of game. So hey, if I can come up with $1,000 and then I can buy me some property, all right. Well, now what do I do with the property? And a lot of it, within our culture, it's just certain things that's not taught. We can't. It's only so much we can learn. From
It's taught
grandma.
though. It's taught.
I don't know where I find it. Where would I find it?
Let me say this. Let me say this, because I say it often. In this day and age, it's really difficult to say I didn't know. If you really want something, every answer is on Google. Every answer. Especially, y'all, about real estate.
And man, she just done knocked down my excuse.
Right.
She just
It's-
done killed my
But-
excuse.
Especially
I got
about
you,
real
I got
estate.
you. So we got information at our fingertips.
Yes.
Smartphones 24 hours.
Information
Yes.
overload too on some of it.
Yes.
So the idea is like, hey, so I jump on YouTube. Hey, somebody got 10,000 videos on how to buy a property. Hey, I go to Google. Somebody can give me the ABCs of real estate. But the reality of it is that most people make it to a space of success because they had somebody walk them through
coaching
certain
them.
parts of
Coaching
the
them,
process.
yeah.
Because everybody, if we turned all the lights off in this room, hey, you're not familiar enough with the room to really get out the door. So the idea is like, okay, hey, I got a flashlight on my phone or whatever, but you still have some kind of help.
I'm going to tell you.
With no help, it's tough to find the door in a dark room.
Yeah, there's so many coaches right here in Detroit.
Well, how do we find out about them though?
Google.
So now,
It's
hey,
everywhere.
I Google the people, right?
You
Now,
call them.
I
You
gotta
look at
pay-
their website. Yes, you gotta pay.
something, right?
And you want to know why the coaches charge? Because time is money.
That's true.
If I'm sitting here coaching you, helping you to do this, and then you still don't do anything with the information, guess what? I just wasted my time. I could have made money instead of trying to help this person, you know, come up. So that's the reason. But I mean, there's free information everywhere you go. I personally give seminars. I did a lunch and learn a couple of times where I just invited random people. Only like probably 8 people showed up. So we could talk about real estate investing. They could ask whatever they wanted. There's free information everywhere, especially in Detroit, about investing.
Right.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Janie Dale says, I've tried to get a house through the Detroit Land Bank auction, and I find it difficult because I'm always getting outbidded by a realtor. Should I
A realtor?
should I
my
obtain a realtor's help or just keep trying?
Keep trying. Never give up. Never give up. And but you should also connect with a good realtor because, but you know, it just depends. If you want a $1,000 house, you want to keep trying on land bank.
Okay.
But if you have more money that you can spend on an investment property, connect with a realtor. But the realtors can't really help you get the $1,000 properties.
Okay.
That's just, you know, all on the website.
Okay, now if it's $1,000, is it just first come first serve? Is that how it is?
Some of the houses, I know on their site, if you click own it now, then I think whatever you bid, you can own it within like 48 hours or whenever that time frame is up. But some of them, it'll say auction, meaning people are going to bid on it.
Okay.
So it's just different buttons on that website.
Okay.
Yep. But definitely keep trying. Never give up.
Gotta get to where you gotta get to. So we're sitting with Katina Willis, Next Level Realty and Investments, right? And her site is nextlevelsales, SELLS.com, right?
Yes.
Got the book out. The book is Next Level Coaching for Real Estate Investors. You can grab that on Katina with a C, CATINA Willis.com, right?
Yes,
All
that's
right, man, we're
right.
gonna sell some books tonight.
On Instagram, I think you can get linked to the book too. So
Katina Willis on the gram.
yes.
All right, we got
Man,
you.
you're very resourceful over there, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just seeing you over there typing away, man. It's like, wow. I'm like 1970.
Right, listen, I'm over here all on her website and everything.
Right. You
you
done bought a house already.
I just set up 17 deals too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a guy from Boston call you. I can't solve mine. That's not just jokes.
Now, when we talk about renting and buying, and when you look at the neighborhoods, you see the neighborhoods run down. You say, hey, most of these people are just renting. That's why they don't care about the neighborhood. You know, and buyers generally take care of their homes because they are invested in it.
More pride of ownership.
Or pride of ownership. Now, can you explain that renting versus buyer dynamic, the disadvantages and advantages of both? Or
Honestly, people are not gonna like this, but I mean, renting is a trap, and you have to find your way out of it. You have to make some kind of sacrifice to get the credit score up. It just seems like there's so much more opportunity once you become a homeowner. And I mean, I deal with property management as well. So I deal with the tenants. And in a lot of situations, you know, a lot of them are always upset, mad, something. You know, just something. And, you know, I hear stuff like, oh, the landlord not doing this, doing that, but want their money. And, you know, so renting is just a trap. And I say make a sacrifice so you can get out of renting. Because you're paying, say you got a 1,000 square foot house in East Point that you're renting. A 1,000 square foot brick house, 3-bedroom, 1 bath in East Point that you're renting. That rent is probably going to be about $1,000 a month. But if you're buying, you're probably going to be paying $600-$700, including tax and insurance.
Wow, in East Point.
In East Point.
but 1,000 square foot is not big at all.
But that's your average. That's your average size for renters.
You own it. You own it. I
Yeah.
think the idea is just the owning it piece. Because, so, hey, we go through Birmingham, we go through Royal Oak, we go through these cities and we see these little houses.
Yeah.
And these boys like 2, 3, $500,000, you know, because of location,
Yeah.
right? So I think that if we just look at the size of homes, Detroit is almost unfair to the rest of the space or the rest of the area, because you can come into Detroit, grab you a brick home. It can be 2-story, right? Hey, a 2-story, boy, how many times have we said this? If that house was out in Bloomfield, that would be $1 million.
Just going through Highland Park, you see the huge houses in Highland Park, and it's like, man, and or the Boulevard.
Right.
You look at these huge homes, and then when you go to the suburbs, their homes are built cheaply.
Right, smaller.
Yes.
The newer construction.
Newer construction.
Oh yeah, they're definitely not the architecture that they built in Detroit back in the day. No way.
You know,
Those old Detroit homes are so solid and just beautiful. They took their time to build those houses, and that's why you see so many overseas people here going, oh my God, I can get this for $50,000. They be like, they can't believe it.
Millennials coming in and killing it. They're coming in and killing it. The idea is like, hey, go grab you a nice old house in Detroit and fix it up. And now I got me, this spot in the D, and Detroit is becoming a little bit more melting pot, right? I mean, that's really the idea. And for many, many years, we knew that the melting pot was going to get diversified. I know I heard it. I know Sherrod, I know you heard it. I know you're not old enough to have really heard it for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
But I think the point is that we understand that these houses in Detroit have inherent value just because of the way that they were built.
You know what? Let's talk about gentrification. Because you just made a valid point. We walk past these homes every day, and we don't think nothing of it. But then as soon as outside folks come in, we get pissed.
We get mad.
We get pissed because they buy up the block. What are your thoughts on the ideal of gentrification and
That's such a touchy subject right now.
And we don't want to get nobody mad about it, but it's just the truth of the matter.
I mean, what can you say? I don't find a problem with improving a neighborhood.
Okay.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I remember a couple of years ago, I think it might have been 2, there was some nonprofit company over in the area of Denby High School on the east side, and they were covering up all the houses or the abandoned houses, boarding them up and painting them blue. And people were on Facebook mad. And I said, what are you mad about? They're helping, they're making this neighborhood more safe for children to walk to school.
Yeah.
Why can you get upset about something like that? And then how can you get upset about people from other areas seeing the beauty in these houses and wanting to buy it and improve the neighborhood? Because the people in the community, all of them are not doing it. Some of them are causing the problem. So, I
think I'll step out on a little bit further. She can't go that far.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And nobody can see me, so I'm good. But I think when we get into this gentrification space, there's an understanding, so like, hey, this Uber job was really a cold little piece for me for a while.
Okay.
Because it really put me in a space with people that are going through all of these different things. I ran into a couple people that work for Quicken Loans. And hey, they was quick to defend gentrification. Well, hey, this loan company, we'll strike that from the record alone, but this particular loan company, like, hey, they're able to take advantage of that that's going on now. Hey, there are apartments, across from like Little Caesars Arena and all that. People are paying like $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you paying $3,000 a month to stay in the D?
Yes.
But that's because I'm jaded, right? I'm jaded. I remember, I had people that had apartments downtown, like top floors for like $1,000, $1,500. Now they're
No more.
like 5 racks.
No
10
more.
racks.
Detroit is coming up.
Right, absolutely right. Fastest growing city in the country. Detroit
And
is top 5.
When everybody was leaving out of here a few years ago,
Right.
and they were just running. I'm going to the birds. I was like, man, in about 5 to 10 years, this place is going to bounce back, because that's what happened. When things go down, they got to come back up.
Right.
Oh, you crazy. Nah, bro. It's like, I don't have to be the smartest dude on the block to know,
Right.
hey, they're gonna come back and they're gonna take this. They're gonna take it all,
Mm-hmm.
and then we let them because we don't invest in ourselves, and then we'll complain about it.
Right.
And trust me, I'm one of the biggest proponents of, hey, you know, black. But I also have to look at things from a reality standpoint that we should have come together. It's like, hey, we can come together for everything else and put money in on everything else. But when it says, hey, let's go grab this yard over here, you know, this plot of land or this house, let's 10 of us get on this.
Right.
And no, man, I ain't got no money.
Right.
You got new J's on.
New J's.
Man, you waited in line for them babies.
Well, you got $1,000 on your body.
Ma-
You know what I'm saying? You got $1,000 on your body.
Good point.
That's a
Good
house.
point.
That's a
Man.
house in the D.
That's a house.
Yeah, that's a house in
And
the
like you said, it's a house.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just we don't spend our money wisely, and we could have saved Detroit and made it ours again.
Right.
But we just didn't have the vision that everybody else has.
Well, you know,
It's not too late though. You still can go in and buy up some property.
That's true.
you still can. That's
That-
true.
that
It's
is-
never too late.
that is-
They ain't got it all.
True that.
And you right here.
Right.
You right here. You see the people, the homeowners every day. Because that's who people got to get to.
Right. The homeowners.
The homeowners.
The homeowners. I still believe that it's education, and I do understand that we have this information at our fingertips.
Yes.
But the idea is still, you can have all the information in the world. Like, hey, we can put an army and we can give them all the guns and all this stuff, but hey, they still got to be trained.
Right.
You still got to go to the range. You still got to have an instructor.
Right.
And to me, the real key, I understand information at my fingertips, but at the end of the day,
You don't know what to do with it.
right, you still got to have somebody that's like, hey, let me show you this.
I'm going to
game.
tell you this.
Next level thinking,
I'm
bro.
going to tell you like
All right,
this.
Next level thinking.
Anything a person wants, they will put in the time to get it.
That's true.
Period.
That is
So
1,000% true.
We cannot use excuses.
Well, I don't
Because
think education is an excuse, though, or training is an
the
excuse.
reason it is because there's so much training online for free. Every day,
But
all
who
day.
knows where it is? I mean, I understand, hey, I can just Google buy a home in Detroit, and I'm going to get whatever I get as far as a response.
Like when you say Google what, tell me this. What is it that you think you don't know about how to buy a property?
Well, number one, I don't know what I don't know.
Right?
So that's the first thing out the gate is
Right.
I don't know what I don't know.
Okay. But if
So
you
I
did
can't
know,
bridge
what would
that-
you
I can't
ask?
quite bridge that gap. So now my thought has to be, so hey, let's understand. When we was talking before we got on, hey, the idea was when Coleman Young was the mayor, hey, Detroit had the highest black ownership of homes in the country. Now, how did they figure that out? They really didn't. Henry Ford said, hey, I figured out a way to mass produce the car, and if you make it, you should buy it. So now my granddad comes up here, gets on with the big three. Hey, he and my grandma bought a house in Detroit, Southfield Freeway. Hey, they was in that house until they died. They were never real estate investors. They weren't looking to buy property across the city, and that's not saying that there aren't people that didn't do that. It was a lot of people that worked in the big three
Right.
that got properties. But the point is, hey, you got this information. Hey, Detroit was this city where a lot of black people own homes. Now we flipped. Now we 60% owner. I mean 60% renter, 40% owner.
Yeah.
So hey, how did we get to 60% renter
You know, a lot of
with
people,
all this information?
a lot of people, well, I know this, in 2007, 2008, when a lot of people lost their houses.
Right. I was one of them.
Yeah, that was devastating, and people just, I think people didn't know that the market would ever come back.
Right.
So people just started renting, gave up their houses.
Sure.
Everybody was affected by it. I was affected, but
Yeah.
I'm a overthinker.
Sure.
And so I'm going to dig for information. I'm going to find out. So I was fortunate enough. I had got a Obama modification. I didn't even know what I was doing. I started doing research.
Right.
I just went with the flow. I filled out some paperwork.
Right.
Well, first of all, let's talk about that market in 2008 or before 2008. Everybody and their mama could buy an investment property. Everybody. If you had a post, you could buy real estate.
Right.
They were giving loans to everybody. People, they didn't even ask for your tax returns back then. Like, that's how easy it was. So we had investment properties, and then our primary home, though, that's what I want to talk about. So our primary home, we were paying $1,700 a month for this house, not including taxes. So when the market crashed, and my house, I was like the only foreclosure in my neighborhood. So I paid $214 for that house. A year later, or within a year, the market crashed. A house identical to mine was selling at $99,000.
Oh, wow.
So guess what? I panicked just like everybody else. Like, what? I'm not paying all this money. It was just bad. It was bad times, a recession. We had a lot going on. We had some investment properties as well. I was fortunate enough, I sold the ones that were in my name real quick, but I was married at the time, and he didn't. He believed the market was going to snap right back, so he had to do some other things about those properties, right? But with this primary house, when it was so bad, I started digging for information. And I got so blessed for digging for information. I didn't wait on nobody to tell me nothing. I figured it out myself. I filled out all this paperwork. It took me a couple of months to get it done, but I took my mortgage from $1,700 a month to $900 a month, including my taxes and insurance.
Now let me give you.
It was an Obama modification.
Now, and that's a great story.
Yes, it is.
It's a great story. That's coming from Katina Willis.
And I had the Holy Ghost.
Next level.
Listen.
Next level.
My son was like, "You had the Holy Ghost in the kitchen." Yes, I did.
That's what's up.
Sure did.
Right.
We got to find this ghost.
Right, for real.
For
For
some
real.
information.
Quick recap, and then I got a comment. So Katina Willis, Next Level Realty and Investments.
Yeah.
Her website is nextlevelsales, SELLS.com. You can catch her on the gram, Katina Willis, CATINA WILLIS.
And I put investment deals on that gram too.
All right. So she got some money on there for us, y'all.
All the
She got some
time.
money. She's wrote a book. The book is Next Level Coaching for Real Estate Investors. And you can grab that book at katinawillis.com. So give me 60 seconds.
Sure.
So I did the Obama thing too.
Okay.
Right? So, hey, I went through. Hey, we shot it through, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Hey, I was like 19 and some change on mines. You know what I'm saying? I was 1900 a month on mines.
Yeah.
Hey, we shot that boy in. Hey, it came back 1969. What? Well, I thought we were supposed to, you know what I'm saying?
You're not the first person to tell me that.
Right, I know I'm not. I know I'm not because I ran into plenty of people. So, boom, so, hey, we was in trouble. I had lost my job. So I lost my job, so it was falling on my wife. We're not together anymore, you know what I'm saying, for those reasons. But the idea was, hey, so then a couple years later, we went and we grabbed somebody from the housing space, you know, someone, not HUD, but something affiliated like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember it exactly. So we went in there and said, oh, you don't know what you was doing. Hey, let me pop, pop, pop. You know, we're going to shoot this in. And the banks was like, nope, we straight. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't work out that way for me. I ended up losing my house in foreclosure.
Yeah.
And then, you know, kind of like a collapse ensued, you know, from there, just financial disaster.
Yeah.
Right.
And what I realize now is I'm not the only one that went through that.
No.
But at the time, it's like you on an island.
Yeah.
And it's literally like sharks are all around you.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, I don't know how I'm going to get to land.
Yeah.
And blah, 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 blah. And hopefully something comes along, but the idea is, hey, that 08 space, we get into the higher levels, hey, these guys were betting that we were going to lose our houses.
Yes.
Because they were insuring those loans, and that's why AIG crumbled. That's when you get into the space of, oh, they're too big to fail. In my own personal opinion, thank God I'm not on the screen, hey, they should have let some of them boys fall. You understand? It still hurt the country. We still got hurt.
Some of who fall?
Well, when you have these banks that are too big to fail.
Oh, some of these big banks.
Right. They
For
should,
sure.
Right. They should
Some did fall.
Go down.
Some did.
But they girded up a whole
they got those
lot.
golden parachutes, a lot of them on their way out.
Of course, because you know why? If you build a company to be a $1 billion company, you can do it again. That's the thing. Knowledge is power. Yes, you do want to. And they definitely, you know they did.
I'm sure, but the idea to me is, you know, we've all been through what we've been through, moving through that 08 space.
Yes.
You have a knowledge base that dates back to 96.
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of banging on the same thing. Hey, we sitting here with Katrina Willis.
Katina.
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 Katina Willis. Hit her up at KatinaWillis.com. She does have Next Level Realty and Investments. That's Next Level Sales, SELLS.
And then you got to kind of hit next, like,
Next
Okay,
level.
put a little something in there.
Yeah, put a little.
Okay, I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on that. That's my next piece.
But dig this though. Okay, we got Google, as George Bush would call it, the Google.
The Google.
The Google. Okay, we have all this information. Boom.
Yes.
All these realtors pop up.
Yeah.
How do we know? Because it's 14,000 here. How do we know who we look at? You know, how do we know who's good? How do we, you know, is there some place to go that rates you guys? Like, hey.
Oh yeah, Zillow.
Oh, okay.
Zillow. See, everybody know. Well, a lot of people. Anybody who follows real estate, they go to Zillow for everything, even though Zillow is not always accurate. And so we realtors, we really despise Zillow because people think everything they see there is so right. Like if they go and it says my house is worth $100,000, and then they call us like, I want to sell my house, and you know we might be like, how much you want to sell it for? And they'll be like 100,000. We look it up like, what? Where'd you get that number? Right. Zillow. We're like, oh no, let me come look at it, but. Zillow does have some good information.
Okay.
And it does have some little bit off information, but that is a great place to start. Right. To just research agents because there's real reviews. There's what past clients have said about you. It shows a track record of what you've sold. So that stuff is right. Right. So
you got to pick.
Yeah, the home value stuff is the part that's not right.
You
because they want you to get excited about your house and click on one of those realtors. That's what they want.
Okay, now that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are competing with the internet online. You know, everybody thinks they can just, hey, I can just click my way to a deal. Mm-hmm. What has been the effect for you guys now, and what do you see in the future? You know, as far as, I mean, hell, you can buy a car.
Competing with the internet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's already here, honestly.
Okay.
They call it iBuyer programs or whatever. Like, honestly, people are going to start being able to directly sell their houses from Zillow or Facebook. And some real estate agents fear being replaced by a computer, and some don't. Like, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, if the bottom line is if you're knowledgeable, you know your stuff, you a go-getter, a computer can never replace somebody like that. Period.
Okay.
That's how I feel. I ain't worried about no computer replacing me. No.
Okay.
You
next
still
level.
Yeah.
It's just next level.
Yeah.
Some people are here.
Next level.
Next level. Some people here. Katina's here. She's next level.
I just, you know what? I just study a lot. And I stay in trainings. I stay in conferences, seminars. I go to other states to go to this stuff and listen to millionaires talk. They tell you about the ups and downs of real estate and how to survive if the market does crash. There's information. What they say, success leaves clues and history repeats itself. So if you stay knowledgeable, you'll be just fine because you'll know exactly what to expect and what's coming.
Now, are you just here? You know, Michigan, you know, licensed here?
Right now. I just told yesterday where I'm going. I'm about to start researching 2 areas, 2 different states, and I'm trying to narrow it down to which one, but I want to definitely be a top agent there and master that area so that I could travel. Pardon me?
These warm weather states?
Of course.
Oh,
You know it. You know it is. So I can get out of here in January or, you know, a reason to travel more.
Right.
Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. You know what? Now, I know with my home, I did a land contract.
Okay.
You know, hey, long story behind that, but the thing was, it worked for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you do land contracts? Do you get people? I mean, how do you advise people? What do you tell them? You know, what's when they come to you? I need to buy a house. Do you ever suggest, hey, let's do a land contract? I got a couple hookups on that.
Well, you know, we have what's called pre-qualifying questions. So when somebody calls, You know, just like when you go to the doctor, they ask you a bunch of questions to figure out what's wrong and what the best medicine is. Or
Okay.
so we have to ask you a bunch of questions to figure out what the best strategy is for you. Because that's another reason we got 14,000 agents.
Okay.
Is because you might have 1,000 agents or 500 who specialize in only doing land contracts.
Oh, okay.
Whereas you might call me and I might say, oh, I don't really specialize in land contracts. Let me get you to my land contract specialist. So I might have somebody on my team who's good at it, or somebody on my team who's helping you to buy. Like in my company, I'm the main person to work with the investors, the experienced investors. And then I'm the main one to help you sell your property. That's my main focus. And then I have, I work with buyers as well. And I do have a great team to assist with that.
Okay, people looking to buy. Buyers aren't as popular as the sellers, though. You usually lean more towards the sellers. The buyers are kind of on their own. Is that the idea?
Not really. Not really. Buyers take a lot of work.
Yeah, I know we did. When we were looking for a house, we looked for almost a year before we actually got an agent.
Oh, okay, that's
good. We
good.
got an agent because we were just, it was like, this was, you could still look houses up in the newspaper, right?
Oh,
that's ridiculous now.
Yeah.
So we would look, and then we just stumbled into this house. It was a nice house. We kind of knew what we was going to get qualified for. And
yeah.
the lady that was showing the house was like, hey, you got an agent. And we was like, oh, do we need one? And she was like, yeah. So she went through something. She was actually, because it took us another year before we found a house. So we was looking for a house for 2 years. And she was telling us that some of the agents in her office was like, dang, you still messing with them? Because they ain't gonna never buy a house. Yeah, so, but the idea is, hey, as a buyer, I think you could utilize the expertise of an agent as well. Instead of we was just knocking our head up against the wall.
For, first time buyers, it's a great idea to start going to seminars. Go to the free seminars so that you can learn, because it is a process. And
That's
then,
all we got going too.
Yeah, and then also, there's a lot to do with buying. You got to get your credit right first.
Yeah.
Attend seminars to start figuring out what's what, and then when you're ready, start working with an agent.
Right. That's about how it went for us. That's about how it went. So it was interesting. It took us a year to fix our credit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
credit is another story.
Yeah.
That is another story within itself. But we are going to bring this podcast to an end. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I really do appreciate you coming
We don't
down.
have no more questions online?
Nah, nope. No
See,
more
I
questions.
love questions. Where are the...
Oh, we're going to have you back. We're going to have you back. That's a definite. Working on something, putting a panel together full of some smart people.
Okay.
Definitely got to have you on board. Ed, I appreciate you, bro.
No problem. You want to do the recap?
I want you to do the recap. And
Okay. So we've been sitting here for a couple minutes, at least, right, with Katina Willis, Next Level Realty and Investments. Her website is Next Level Sales. Sales is SELLS.com. You can also catch Katina on the gram at Katina Willis. Now, she did say she got some money for us on the gram.
she got money. She got some money. She does have money on the gram.
Money on the gram. She has wrote a book, Next Level Coaching for Real Estate Investors. And I think that can speak to a lot of people, right? Not just necessarily real estate agents, but that can speak to a lot of folks. And you can get that on her website, which is KatinaWillis.com.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Anything else you want to add or, leave us with?
Oh, you know what? One other thing I don't think we did touch on is that it's a good thing we were talking about 08 and the foreclosure crisis. But what we do now is we have a program to stop people from tax foreclosure and mortgage foreclosure. So we can assist people. I want to just say, don't just let your house go into foreclosure, especially in this day and age. You can get some kind of money for your house. So, and I do understand when something like that is happening, you don't want to talk to anybody, you don't want to open your mail, but the bottom line is that you are going to need some cash to get a fresh start. So I'm here for that. You can call me direct for that. Let's see. Call me. I'm trying to see what number to give out.
She got so many phones, man.
506-0076. That's 734-506-0076. Anybody in a foreclosure, tax foreclosure, or mortgage foreclosure, and you just are ready to walk away or don't know what your options are. Let's say that. If you don't know what your options are, call me. I'm here to help. I could go over different options for you.
Man, that was sweet.
Don't just walk away.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's thousands of dollars still there.
Wow. Well, you guys out there, y'all heard it. Don't walk away from your home. If need be, you want any information about foreclosures, Katina Willis, 734-506-0076.
Yes. Extension 1. I'm extension 1.
Extension 1.
Of course.
Hey, we appreciate everybody for watching. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. That was good. We talked and talked.
Oh yeah, I did. I got so much to say. Right?
I really do appreciate that. That's cool.